Hey everyone, I'm Candace.
I'm Latoya.
And I'm Sherelle.
And we are Sisters Unscripted.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We are completely unscripted, where we talk about all the things, all the shit, whatever we want, from the eyes of Black sisters. So stay and kick it with us.
Let's get into it.
Welcome, everyone.
Whoa. Never gonna get it.
And silence. Welcome to Sisters Unscripted.
Unscripted.
Welcome back to our episode. Well, like this is
our channel, bitch.
It is. You're right.
Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back to our podcast.
Too. Yeah, just really quick, when I call you guys the B word, I don't actually mean you guys are bitches, right?
Not anymore.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. When you call other people bitches that you love, is it really calling them a bitch?
Is it out of love, or is it like kind of like bitch?
But you know the difference though, like pertaining the energy behind it. So like whenever you're like, listen to me, bitch, like you could tell that you're not calling me a bitch. But then when like if a topic is like a heated one and then it's like, bitch, like don't you, and like, did you just call me a bitch?
Did you just call my mama a bitch? No, for the record, you know who I'm talking about. She was being bitchy.
No, that you don't know, audience. You don't know.
You don't need to know.
No,
Yeah.
But if this person is watching, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh,
anyway,
we gonna leave it at that.
Woo, 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 woo.
So Sherelle says she's got a topic for us. So what's the topic today?
I want to talk about social media.
Okay.
Just social media from your guys' perspective, what you like about social media, what really irks you about social media, the dangers of social media. Because I know, Can, you have, children and stuff like that. And this is being that social media is now a thing. I would love to know how you navigate protecting your children with social media and things like that. So who wants to start?
That's a lot to unpack right there.
I know. It's a very broad topic, but just whatever thoughts come to mind.
I want to hear your thoughts first.
Okay.
Some toy.
I mean, I probably will have some thoughts, but like, what if we start with, I'm curious about like, what was the first experience of social media for all of us, like back in the day. Yeah, when it started for us individually, like
MySpace, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like MySpace was like a thing that kind of sparked, I think it was the thing that sparked social media. Now if you like dive really into it, it started with like the computer dialing in and then little chat rooms and stuff, but
right.
like
but also we were
little
broke joke growing up, you know what I mean? And like with I didn't even really experience the internet, really experience the internet until like mom got remarried and stuff like that, and then our stepfather having his like PC, because everything else was like dial up. And then I remember before that it was just like the Backstreet Boys. Remember how we were trying to like download that video and it took basically like 5 years? Not really, I'm over exaggerating.
I don't remember this.
It was was it the break? No, it wasn't Break Your Heart or whatever it's
I'll
called.
never break.
Is it I Want It That Way?
No,
Or was
it's
it
where they're
Backstreet Back, the Halloween one?
Quit playing games.
No. It's fuck. I wish I was a Backstreet Boys fan again.
Oh.
No, stop, because none of you guys are fucking close. Like I think it's on the album Millennium or something like that.
Yeah, Millennium.
And then they're all like in white suits and they do that
Larger Than Life.
How's that go?
Were they in space though?
Makes you laugh.
No.
Oh, Shape of My Heart. Looking back on. No, that's
No, it's
I
one
Want
of
It
their
That
pop
Way.
songs. It's obviously all of them.
The only one that I know that they were in like all white suits, but
and
it
then there was
changed
like
from
blue.
Yeah.
And then they had like jeans on.
It's I Want It That Way.
Yeah, I just watched it the other day.
It that.
And they're like in the middle of an airport, and there's like their own private jet and stuff.
Yeah, that's the one.
That is the one.
I was really a loser growing up, so I didn't really deal with like AOL chat and all that stupid shit. And even if dad would like put a stop to that, But as far as like social media, I remember you, Latoya, you were hanging out. This is before you went to college in Cedar City. And I was like, what is she doing? Because you were just on that computer for like a hot minute. Not a long time, but a hot minute. And you were just reading all these things in orange, like there were orange boxes with text in them. And I was like, what was you were looking at MySpace and you were just all like involved in your comments and shit like that. And that was basically how I got introduced to social media. And I fucking loved me some MySpace.
I loved MySpace.
MySpace was
I
awesome.
liked it too.
Yeah, how you could like customize things. And I mean, it did get a little dramatic every so often here and there with people like reading comments every so often.
I don't think that was the most dramatic part of it. I think the most dramatic part of it was ranking your friends.
Yes.
Oh shit!
So you remember that?
Oh shit!
Like, we ain't friends no more.
Oh
I'm not even in
shit!
the top 5. I was like, it's not that deep. I'm trying to make it easier access so I can get to your page. That's
Right.
really what I was doing. But, that was kind of, and it's interesting that you bring that up because that kind of feeds into social media settings nowadays is like with all the likes and stuff. Like, I'm not trying to like fast forward the conversation or anything, but we're definitely seeing a ripple effect nowadays because of that with the likes and shares and how many like likes you get, how many follows you get, how many shares you get. And then like, if you get that, then you can become like this financially supported person in the world now as a career by becoming an influencer, which who knew that the beginning of MySpace world would completely evolve into what we're experiencing now, and who knows where it's going to go in the future.
Right.
So,
I can see that. That's an interesting perspective. I look at it differently, but I can see where it's coming from. Like I was a big loser growing up, and I had like FOMO for sure, and I didn't really think a lot of people gave a shit about me, to be honest. So, to me, I feel in my mind I was so kind of hyper obsessed with like top friends, being on my top friends, because that was really how I felt that people cared about me. So I was bothered when my best friend was like my number one and like I wasn't on his top. I'm like, this fucking sucks ass. You don't care about me.
I mean, it really was a thing back then. I remember it causing so many arguments and stuff between friends.
seriously. And really all I really did when I was on MySpace, because I feel like that was like a big thing for me more so in college days. Because I would go to, like, for class, I would go to the computer lab, and that was really like my big exposure to the internet world, because like most of the time we were on the internet was because of school assignments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then in college, you kind of had like free range because you needed the internet for all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And then the introduction of the iPhone. Anyway, but MySpace was a really great resource to find music and listen to music.
Yeah, I loved that part of it.
Yeah. And that was even before YouTube. So like I would be going to finding music, and like random people would pop it. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And actually, one of the artists that I have known forever, and it was due to MySpace, was Janelle Monáe.
Really?
Oh shit!
Hmm?
I thought
That's
she was
cool.
more recent.
Yeah, like before they even had like a full album and all that stuff. There's like, I heard this song that I'm an alien from outer space. And I was like, me too. Who is this? And listened to the whole album, and I was like, I need to buy this. And that was my first exposure because of MySpace, because I thought it was an interesting sound that I've never heard on the radio at that time. So like a lot of the time I used MySpace, not really to communicate anymore. It was mostly like a good resource to find really interesting music. So
For sure.
it was cool.
I thought it was cool too, just because you're able to show more of your creative side. Like, you know, you could customize your page and, you know, just do all sorts of different things. I just really liked that too.
Yeah.
You really were able to kind of express yourself through whatever you created on there.
Yeah.
Then it was also the beginning of like spying on people.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, what you saying about this person?
Oh,
Oh
mhm.
my gosh, you guys are unlocking some serious like cringe shit.
Listen, okay, question for you guys.
Keeping it real.
Question. So have you ever, like with an ex or anything, like have you ever...
Fuck yeah, I have.
Can I ask
I'm
the question?
sorry, you're right. Go ahead.
Question.
So, with an ex, have you ever made a MySpace or a Facebook page pretending you were somebody else?
Wait, hold up. On the count of three, let's answer. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No.
Yes.
Nope.
You haven't?
No.
Of course not,
I
Latoya.
just straight up use my own page and just be like, boop, 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 boop.
Dang.
I don't need to leave no comments. I just want to see what's up.
I mean, I'm not proud about it, but this was years ago. Like,
Oh, for sure.
ago.
I think we can establish like we
Yeah.
were very. I mean, MySpace was hella forever.
right.
Right.
That was like,
We're basically in the ball sack at that point.
I think I was 19, 20,
God, did I ever do
you know, like that was the start of Petty University, I think.
I really don't think I ever did it. I can't recall it.
got my PhD at Petty University.
You petty. Yeah, you petty.
But yeah, no, I want to hear your story.
Oh fuck. Okay, so long story short, are you like me creating a profile? Is that more what you're asking?
Yeah, or it could, honestly, whatever.
Yeah. So long story short, I dated this guy with dreads, super cool. But I don't know why. I mean, whatever. We're not gonna talk about that specifically. But when we broke up, I don't know. I did this whole like mind game stuff, like super petty, stupid, young shit, right? Where like, you know, and girl, like I feel a lot of people could relate where they play mind games to see how much the person cares about them, right? And it was like my first boyfriend and like, you know, all that good jazz. So I talked about my ex to my current boyfriend, but like he really wasn't. I don't count it because I don't count it now, but back then I did because he was a high school boyfriend for like 3 days. Anyway, so
She had a boyfriend in high school.
girl,
That's going to be another topic for
we
another
are
day.
not even gonna get into that because he's not the boyfriend that you think he would be. Anyway, it's not even the boyfriend I wanted. Anyway, so yeah, but then like he grew up, got fucking hot, and I was like, karma is real. Because then I like actually wanted to get with this guy. Not like that. I was still a virgin. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But anyway,
Nobody was
so
talking about that, but
I know what y'all are thinking. Anyway, so he was like super hot, emo, got pierced up and shit like that. And I was like, this guy's hot. And then I was talking about like emo ex-boyfriend to current boyfriend, and then current boyfriend and I broke up because he wanted to like go Marin, that's her name. He wanted to go like check things out with her because she became available. And I was like, oh, am I just some back burner bitch until she became available? I said this was a long story short, but you know, whatever. Anyway, and so I created Facebook named after my emo ex to go like, I don't know, intimidate my current. No, it was my current boyfriend at the time. That's right. I did it to I don't know, but that's really what it was.
Yeah, I think really the root of all that is that
Jealousy and insecurities.
for sure. And I think that what you said earlier is that you wanted to see how much they actually really cared about you when you were together.
Because I was insecure. But yes.
Totally. I was the same way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I only did that once. So, yeah.
and
I think I had done it once,
busy
but
to even do that.
obviously we know Latoya is the cool one out of us.
I'm not
Doesn't do
saying
that
I'm the
shit.
cool one. I didn't date a lot. So it's just,
I didn't
I was
either.
so focused on other things. But it didn't mean I didn't have crushes, and it didn't mean that I didn't like want to like see what's up, you know? But
But I think too, social media had kind of given people a voice in a way where, how do I explain it? Just giving you a voice without really having to say anything, if that makes any sense. You hear a lot of people say, oh, they're hiding behind a screen. Like, I know for me, I feel more comfortable like sending emails rather than just talking like how we're talking now. I feel
But clarify that for the people, because the people are going to think that you're a social media warrior or a keyboard warrior, meaning like you can talk shit, but you can't talk shit to someone's face. When I know that's not what you're meaning.
No.
So explain a little bit more into that.
It gives me a little bit more bravery to be able to say things, like not in a bad way, but to communicate with people on a deeper level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, having those vulnerable conversations in person, especially back then when I was, you know, my early 20s, that stuff's hard. I mean, that stuff's still hard now, but I think, yeah, it was nothing about like the shit talking or anything. It was more of the whole, you know, I was braver to be able to have those conversations that I wouldn't have when I was in person. Does that make sense?
It does. Well, and sometimes, like, I don't know, like in our family dynamic, like talking, using our words, expressing ourselves vocally has always been somewhat of a challenge. I only can speak for myself, but I know that's been
Same.
something I've been working through, and actually, like, my career has helped a lot with that. But writing still is a way. It's much easier for me to write out my feelings or express my feelings with words written down versus it is vocalizing it. So I get that perspective of just being like doing it behind a screen allows you to be able to fully express yourself versus being in person where you might not be able to like get it out because that's just never has been an option for you.
Well, I feel like that at work sometimes too. You know, I'm in HR, and I mean, not saying that I can't have conversations with people, because I mean, I do, obviously, especially in my frame of work that I do. I have to be able to, you know, have an opinion and debate and all that stuff. But I always find myself feeling like I'm better at sending like professional emails than I am, and like being able to be very clear in my writing than I am when I'm in person. I've always felt like that though, in a way. But
Yeah.
I think it goes back to what you're saying. We didn't really have a voice growing up. And, you know, I think I've said this maybe in one of our podcasts before, but I just feel like I'm this adult that's kind of reparenting herself how to communicate because I wasn't given a voice growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you both feel that way, but that's how I feel personally.
No,
But-
that makes sense.
But yeah, social media though, it's crazy. Do y'all still have your MySpace pages?
I sure do.
Do you really?
Yeah, if you, from my understanding, if you have never gone in to delete your MySpace, it is still there.
I deleted
Oh.
mine.
I don't know if I did. I honestly just kind of like moved on, but didn't, you know how they say leave no trail? There's probably a trail.
Oh my gosh, for reals. Like every so often I like to just go on there and be like, oh my gosh, I'm such a fucking idiot.
But what does it even look like
I
nowadays?
know. I was just thinking that too.
Does it look?
Oh, it's virus the fuck out. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Okay, so someone mentioned this, my friend actually, I think, not too long ago. I think MySpace is all sorts of virused out. It started, I don't know why I stopped, but it was just becoming really convoluted to use and like not user friendly and stuff like that. Something along those lines. But LimeWire was a huge thing. Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was the downloading music.
Illegally, yeah.
Oh, I remember Napster.
but a lot of-
Napster too. Oh my gosh,
I was like Napster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, LimeWire and
kind of
Napster.
all the same thing, right? But you know, downloading music illegally, you could potentially get a virus. But if you download something with the virus and you upload it to MySpace, which a lot of people are doing, then you're uploading a lot of viruses to MySpace. And I was like, dang, that makes sense. Anyway, so that would be my perception or my opinion why fucking MySpace sucks now, because everyone from LimeWire, fuck you guys, the LimeWire, the Napster fucks, uploading all this shit ruined it for everyone. Now we're all
Pay
forced to
artists.
MySpace.
Yes, and if you want to pay artists, our Venmos are such and such.
See, anyway, but yeah, anyway. That's why
why-
MySpace went. That's my opinion.
Well,
as to why MySpace. is
Justin
shit.
Timberlake, my understanding is that he like bought it and that he was going to do like a big revamp of it, and it was going to become this huge music kind of like space, like MySpace.
Oh, where the fuck is it at? Justin
I
Timberlake.
mean, he probably got, you know, he was trying to bring sexy back. So
Is that why he's
No disrespect, Justin.
Well, right now he's busy right now having that reunion. I think he's doing a reunion with NSYNC.
I think he
So
is.
he can get that money to buy MySpace?
No, he already
No,
got. I mean,
that man has so much money. I'm sure
Then why is MySpace not back yet? Why are
he's
we
probably
still...
got other projects that he's working on.
Yeah.
Listen, Justin Timberlake, listen, this is me and you right now. I need you to get your shit together and bring back MySpace, because I'm sick and fucking tired of Facebook. I'm sick and tired of MySpace. Don't even fucking get me started on TikTok, homie. And X? What the fuck is this? X? Anyway, I'm just saying, get your shit together. I want MySpace back. Thank you.
Follow us, subscribe.
As this is unscripted.
We're on Facebook. We on TikTok. We on Instagram.
We on YouTube.
We go. Yeah, we all over the place. But that's what Sherelle said.
Get your life.
Oh my gosh. But I remember when Facebook was. I feel like it was like 2008 when it was that year. I had toured to China doing a show, a Broadway show internationally, and yeah, I remember like when I got back, it was like December or maybe like even January, I feel like, of 2008 or 2009, beginning of 2009 is when I got my first Facebook page.
Shema?
Shimon.
Sorry, I said what?
Oh,
Oh, I thought you were pulling a Michael
I
Jackson.
know it did sound like that.
Shimon. What?
How you say what in Mandarin is Shema?
Nani?
Yeah, Toya.
I believe that's what in Japan.
Toya is actually learning Mandarin right now, which I think is actually really cool.
And I am so bad, but I'm sticking to it.
That's right. Shimon.
So, but I don't know. What are some positive things that you've gotten out of social media, both of you?
I mean,
Social media then or social media now?
I think just in general, like it could be then, could be now.
I mean, I don't know. I feel neutral about it. Cause like I know a lot of people use Facebook or have used Facebook to stay connected to people
Right.
from their childhood, past, or high school or whatever. But it's kind of also weird because like people that you never really associated yourself with pop up and they're like, yeah, let's be friends. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I know we all would just want to spy on each other, see if we, what we doing after high school so we don't feel so crappy about our sad lives. But I mean, like I have found like was it MySpace actually? I think it was because Facebook, I didn't really join. I was kind of rebellious against Facebook for a while because I'm a loyalist to a T. And so I was like, well, MySpace came out before Facebook. Like, why do we need to have both? Like, I'm good on MySpace. Like, I don't need Facebook. And everyone was like, move to Facebook. Everyone's going there. And I was just like, well, I'm not everybody.
That's so Latoya. So Latoya.
I'm stubborn because I was just like, it doesn't make any sense. But eventually I was like, fine, I'll bite the bullet. And I bit the bullet. And it did help me find Jason, though, our brother. Remember that? Yeah. I don't know. One day I was just like looking just because I knew that like we like had two brothers out there. And so I was just like, what if I just like Google like search, or not Google search, use a search to see if like he has an account. And then I put the name in and I was like, there's gotta be like someone here that looks kind of like us. And a couple of them came up. And then I was like, that one kind of looks a little like our brother, like our little brother. And so I clicked on it. And then I was like, huh. And I don't know if I sent a message or something, but I got an email or like a message on either MySpace or Facebook. I can't remember. But it literally said, are you my sister? And I was like, ooh. Like I about choked on some air when I was there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I think I found my brother. It was wild. So that's probably like the one thing that was like positive, like a really positive, unexpected experience with social media is like I was able to find a sibling.
That's cool.
When that probably would have been more complicated without social media.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that was wild. That kind of blew my mind. So
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I didn't think about it didn't even cross my mind, but
I always go.
I was
to
on
deep
Facebook
topics.
or not Facebook, MySpace. I think I was like trying to look up porn or something like that. I think I was like 19.
She would.
I was gonna
yeah.
bring it back.
Yeah, like, whatever. Reels. Yeah. And then I checked my messages and I was like, oh my gosh, I got a message. Like, cool. Cause I was still a loser. And it was like, the title was like, I think you're my sister. ... No, really, I think you're my sister. And it was like, what? And then I read the message and it was like, I think you're my sister. But like, I didn't know I had such pretty sisters. And I was like, what?
What you think we're gonna be ugly? Like what second? Well, I'd be like, excuse you. Just kidding.
What you think we gonna be fugly?
I mean, no, I'm not gonna say anything, but
I mean, I did see a picture of you and me, Sherelle, like going to like a club. I think it was your birthday, and we went to a club. I'm not gonna lie, we look busted, but you know that we probably were like, we look cute.
I know we look greasy as
Everyone
hell.
had that time though. Let's be real. We all had that phase, and we're like, "Oh, I'm so cute," but really, we're like, you remember? Oh, what was that lipstick back in the day?
Oh, the white like creams,
Yeah,
like creamy
it was
nasty.
Frank.
No, it wasn't
Lip
lip
smackers?
smackers.
Oh.
No, but it was like in a
No.
tube, and like I remember wearing the pink one.
Yeah.
Bright pink. Like it was like bright pink.
It was like icicle or something like.
And then they had like cappuccino. Do you remember that
Yes.
one? Oh my gosh. I can't remember what.
I don't know why you guys like that one. Cappuccino smelled so gross, and you're like, tastes so good. And I'm like, what?
I mean, when you're a kid, you know no different, and you think that you're like looking like, I don't know, like you're.
I mean, we were
clueless.
broke. Growing off broke taste buds. So
Yes.
honestly, y'all are probably just hungry.
Oh my God.
And that was probably the only sweet thing you've had all day. You're like, this isn't off-brand lip gloss.
No, it was like this. All right, everybody, who wants dessert?
Yeah, here goes Candace. Cappuccino. Vanilla frosting.
Oh my.
Strawberry.
Ooh, cupcake.
Oh my God.
Oh wait, an extra flavor came out. A special surprise, cinnamon roll.
But y'all remember those?
I do.
Remember?
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Names, the name of the product, but yeah, I don't see them anymore. But oh my goodness, memories. Yeah, I remember going to
Unlocked.
school. Like I would, and because we couldn't wear makeup for a while, and I remember, I think I wore one on my pictures, one of my school pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and Dad was like, "Is that lipstick on your mouth?" I'm like, "No, it's just chapstick."
I thought you said like, no, it's just the light, the glare of the light.
I could have, but I don't know. I mean, we could wear chapstick. But
Yeah.
I did that with like eyeshadow and everything. When I could only wear like mascara. Dad was like, "You wearing eyeliner?" I was like, "No, bitch, it's mascara." Oh, you better edit that out.
ain't nobody need to be editing nothing. This is sisters.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Did you just call me a bitch?
Shit.
Oh my gosh.
That's fucking funny. Anyway, but no, it was mascara. It was mascara. It was mascara that
Please.
it made little dots into like eyeliner. Man, I look like ass, but I thought it was cute.
Okay, we all went through those stages, I think.
Well, and I remember like, what was it? Grabbing like not chapstick, but like, what was it? Maybe it was one of Mom's little like eyeshadow things, and then putting it like on my cheeks,
Yeah.
give myself some blush, looking like a
snack.
I was saying you were thinking you were looking like
I was thinking I was looking like a snack, but really I just looked
looking
like
a greasy roll.
what's
like
I was gonna say, it was like, of course, the color was not right, and I was looking like, I don't know, Frosty the Snowman.
I mean, they didn't have a lot of shades for us back in the day.
That is very true.
You know, it's cool to see a lot more of the shades and tones that they have nowadays for people of color. So
Yeah, because it's probably people creating it, or probably people like us growing up and
Hey
have
to the
anything, so, which is
manses.
awesome. Kind of cool to see things come full circle. I don't know
Yeah.
for sure, but that's kind of what I assume.
Well, back to life.
Oh,
But yeah, that's great. That's wild that like he reached out to you.
yeah, I got a little emotional there. It's a little sad.
I don't remember that. I don't know if he reached out to me, and if he did, I don't remember.
I think that I I mean, I'm sure I brought it to y'all's attention and we were like,
Right.
what do we need to do? I think I tried to reach out to him again. I'm sure did you try to reach out to him like on the message?
Several times.
Yeah. And then I think it just kind of didn't go anywhere for a while, for years actually, until I don't know. I think the transition of just a lot of things, but the leaving of MySpace and MySpace not being a thing anymore, and then Facebook, I think Facebook made it more easier for you to like see people, since you can add really like photo albums and all that stuff. So Facebook was from MySpace to MySpace to Facebook. Facebook was a little bit more like profiles started becoming a thing, adding more information like the pictures and stuff.
It was more standardized,
Mhm.
almost in a way.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a whole movie about it, the social
I
network.
haven't seen that.
It's really good.
Is it? I need to see that.
It's really
I think I was on the cruise ships when that movie came out, and so there's a whole rabbit hole of movies and music that I probably am just unfamiliar with or haven't seen or haven't really heard, because when you're on cruise ships for 6-7 months at a time, like they happen to play the same stuff over and over.
Yeah, but like I think it switched a little bit because I could see like a sense of like personality and character through the pictures of like our brother, and then also our other brother too popped up on Facebook too.
Right.
So that's like some positive things, or being able to put certain things on Facebook, like pictures and stuff of your adventures, and share them, make it more easily accessible for your family and stuff to see where you're up to.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I think, I don't know, mine has kind of been more, I'm sure there's, a lot of positive things that I've gotten from social media, but I think recently, with my son, he's autistic, he's on the spectrum, and I've just built this community of, people who, like, other parents that have children with autism, and just, it's been really, really eye-opening for me, especially when Isaiah was first diagnosed. So I don't think I really started really talking about it like openly on social media until maybe like 2 years after.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's recent.
Yeah,
stuff.
but I've just like the people that I've connected with in regards to, people who have autism themselves, or parents of autistic children, or, people that know other people that are autistic, I'm doing my best to, I don't want to say educate, because like, your experience is your experience, but, educate in a way, but through the eyes of my experience of raising an autistic child. And then, I do my best to try to share, Isaiah stuff, I do it in a way where I, want to make sure I keep them safe and things. Like I always make sure, this is such a random side note, but I always make sure, like if they're doing, like school things or whatnot, I make sure I don't show numbers. I don't show, like the name of their school, like that sort of thing, because, there's crazy people out there. But the amount of love that I've gotten from people on social media, because I've been open about A, being a single mom, and B, being a single mom with a child with special needs. It's been comforting for me in a lot of ways. Made me feel
you're not like alone.
Yeah, made me feel not alone. And while I have all of you guys, you're all a great support, but I think there's a different.
I mean, I don't know your I don't live your perspective,
right? But you support me. But it's different when you can be around others that have the similar experience,
Mm-hmm.
So that's been my positive thing recently. And like I said, I'm sure there's more, but that's lately like the most positive thing that's kind of come from that for me. And I think I'm going to add another one. I think too, I've been able to find my voice a little bit more. There's still some things. I mean, I'm going to put all my dirty laundry out there, but but I've noticed too, the more vulnerable I am, the more people are like, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that. I totally felt the same way. And it's just like, okay, like people actually hear me. Like I actually really have a voice. And it's kind of cool to be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because social media sometimes like on a can put out like not the truth of what life is. You know, you see most of the time people, and I'll include myself in it, like the highs of life, like traveling to different locations or successes that we have. We're more eager to share those things of like, we're doing so great, but really it's really hard to share when we're actually not doing great.
Right.
And it's hard to do that too, because people, you know, with the bravery of being behind a screen can still be troll-like and rude,
Oh yeah.
you know, about
People
it.
are ruthless out there.
They come after you. No, like even if you were like, I'm wearing this really cute red shirt, and they're like, you look like a cherry. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I was just trying to feel cute.
Right.
And you know, just call me Cherry, you know, but
Because I look like a snack.
exactly. But I mean, I think it's interesting. It's just it's an interesting thing, you know, to be able to post about the truth about the different varieties and ups and downs of life is kind of, it's beautiful and also strange at the same time.
Right.
You know, because some people, well, I mean, I don't know people's lives, like their lived live experience, you know, because sometimes when I see it, I'm not going to separate myself, because sometimes I have a hard time when I see people be posting videos of themselves crying and with like one of them songs in the background and they're like holding their phone like this and they're weeping, and I'm like, are you good? Like, but like, are you good?
I've done that before.
I mean, I'm not trying to call you out, but you see that sometimes. And I'm just like, I personally just wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, because I'm like, what is the purpose sometimes? But is it my business? You know, at the end of the day, is it my business?
But I get why I get that. I get that opinion, because I don't do it often, but like there's been a couple of times when I've done it and I'm like, but I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just, it hit, you know, certain audiences and, you know, but like, so it was all in good intention.
But it's different. You don't do it like all the time. There are
No.
like legit people who will do that like a lot.
Right.
Where I'm like, okay, I empathize with you. And also, like, are you good? Because this is like the fifth video
Is you good?
a month.
Yeah.
Like, do I need to get a subscription? That's probably like wrong.
No.
We need to stick that. But like,
No, I think
I don't know. I just think it's interesting how yes, and sometimes I think we can use social media for inspiration and connection, but then also turn it around to use it for like, I need attention.
look at me.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the inspirational, you know, sometimes like I like to post some like inspirational quotes like here and there, but like not every day, where I'm like, today is another day. Look up to the sky because you're a part of the sun. And then have, here comes the sun, do 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 in the background. And I'm just like,
Y'all got me curious. What do you think about my stuff? Because I'll be doing stuff like that on my page with the kids.
yeah, but it's not like, but
I
that's
support
with
you.
the kids though. I don't know. I think for me, it has a different energy, and that's not me being biased because you're my sister. It just has a different, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I know what you're talking about. It's hard to explain in words.
It's like them yoga videos where like people are like, today I just woke up and like I was feeling all sorts of sad as they're doing sun salutations and stretches, and I'm just like, I can't.
Right.
Next.
Right. And I want my stuff to be more relatable and real. And that's why sometimes I only think I've had the one where I've shown where I was crying, but like I think like an actual video, but that was like part of a overall video. It wasn't like a whole video of just me crying, you know. I'm sure there was some sort of phrase or like you're a good mom or something like that type of thing. But I don't know. But sometimes it's I don't know. I really genuinely just want to reach people that may be feeling the same way, you know. And I hope that comes across in my stuff, especially for, you know, other single moms and other parents that are parenting children, you know, with autism. You know, like it's a lot. It's a lot. And I know for me personally, seeing other people go through those things has made me feel a little bit braver to say those things too, and just to express my experience. You know, you just never know who you're going to who you're going to like influence or who you're going to, to touch, in a positive way like that.
Yeah. So I'm doing it anyway. Who cares?
Right.
Really, at the end of the day, who cares?
And that's what I'm trying to learn too. Trust me, I still have my things personally because I follow like these Instagram, not followers, Instagram, guru people. They're like, do this type of video. This is the trending audio, that sort of thing. And they're like, just pick a video from your draft and just put some crazy music to it and dance. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that.
Should we like pause real quick and like put some loud music on and just start dancing out of nowhere?
Fuck no.
All right.
So, but I don't know, like not saying, because I mean, we've done some dance videos, but like, I don't, a lot of my content is more like there's something happening as opposed to me just putting up words and me dancing, which I'm not downplaying anybody that does that. Like, good for you if that works for you. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm embarrassed to do it. I don't know, but it's not really my thing.
What about you, Missy?
About what?
Like, what have you had positive experiences with social media?
Besides the one you're talking about, getting connected with our other brother, one of our brothers.
Yeah, I get a lot of my nerd news, a lot of my video game news, a
Yeah.
lot of my anime news.
The whole platform now. We're all of that,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I do like it. I do enjoy it.
What do you like and enjoy about it? Get
I
into
think
it.
it's interesting that the shit that like people would make fun of me for in high school, like, oh, you like Dragon Ball Z? Oh, you like Pokemon?
Oh, it's the cool thing now.
Yeah, like fuck you guys. I have liked this shit since I was in the ball sack. Okay, like don't come at me and be like, you're so cool now. You're so cool. Like fuck you guys. I hate all of you guys. You secret lame people. But anyway, that's my good positive stuff.
Okay.
Instagram, I guess, or
Well,
social
what else,
media.
What else about super? Or I was about to say super media, social media.
We should start calling it
Super media.
Jinx.
That's your
Sell me a grape drink.
No, you're supposed to count to 10.
The rules change, bitch.
Well, I'm gonna need to know the rules change. Bitch.
No, it's not how it works. I think, I mean, yeah, I support you with your social media stuff. And I'm glad that you do it. Is it, I don't know. If someone else were to do it, would I like, I'm biased a lot, like when it comes to the family, like a lot of things that we do that, and I do it as well. Stuff that like we just get a pass for a lot of things. But if other people were to do it, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? This is stupid as hell. I hate when people post those stupid ass feel good messages like you have, what is it, the $8,000 something dollars. If you had this much money, what would you do? And then they translate it to, well, you have this many seconds in a day, so you need to make this count. Like, you guys know the stuff that I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I hate that stuff because people, first of all, I don't feel like people are genuine. I don't feel people that make those videos, in my opinion, are set up for success. They have more, I'm not going to say like they have more privilege, but they just have better opportunities, in my opinion. Like, I am bound to the life that I have because, no, well, I shouldn't say that. I'm not bound to the life that I have. I do have opportunities, but more so people that are specifically bound to what they have for the time being. Like you, Candace, like you are a single mom, you have 2 kids, you have to work your ass off. Like, you don't have all the time in the world to do all these things that people are like, get off your ass and just go do it. Like, you don't have any excuses. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I hate that because you don't know my life, and don't act like you know my life to have an opinion on my life. Like, it is very frustrating when I see that shit. And I feel a lot of people are the same as well. You know what I mean?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. I think, I don't know, I see it differently a little bit. And maybe it's because I'm one of those people that gets some positivity from some of those things. you know? And maybe because, you know, I mean, I battle with depression and anxiety, and sometimes just, you know, I do a good little doom scroll and all of a sudden I see a positive message. I'm like, oh, that was, you know, like it helps me sometimes. But I can see, but I also feel like you can tell what's genuine and what's not.
I don't feel like you can anymore with social media.
I mean, that's fair, but I feel like at least it feels genuine to me, the things that I do like, but who knows? And maybe it's not supposed to reach people like you. Maybe it's supposed to reach people like me,
Why the fuck is it in my algorithm?
because we're talking about it right now. You know, those phones are listening.
No. I mean, that's facts, but I don't know. I just wish that whole thing would just stop. Like, if you're going to give a genuine message, give a genuine message that would apply to everyone.
But you can't reach everyone like that. That's
you really
that's
can, in my
unfair.
opinion, I feel.
Really?
Like having an open, unbiased opinion about things.
Yeah, but that's like in a world that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, I trust. I agree.
I feel we do
And
that
also,
in ways. Like,
I think
take, for
it's-
example, Candace, when you were talking about like your dance videos, you're like, I'm not knocking anyone that does it. You're not dimming what they're doing. Like,
Mhm.
they can do it. Like, that's just fine. You're just saying it's just not my preference. It's just not my thing. I feel that's an unbiased opinion. Same for other people. Like, if you're going to give some opinions, if you're going to give some feel good messages, then give some feel good messages like, oh, you have this many seconds in a day. But I understand, like, if you're bound and you don't have this, these are some things that maybe you can do to maybe open up your schedule more, to maybe allow more opportunities, things like that. I feel like that's an unbiased opinion. And then I would listen to that shit more.
but see, this is going to be another Sherelle out there being like, they're trying to tell me how to run my life.
You're right.
Then at that point, that person needs to look at themselves and figure out what the fuck is going on in their mind to like why they gravitate to something so, or why they're taking such a positive message and spinning it into something negative. Like at that point, then I'm like, something's wrong with you, dude. You need to go to therapy. That's my opinion.
I mean, I hear all that. You know, I have some thoughts.
Please.
Come on,
mostly because,
Taurus.
well, it's mostly just being like, who cares at the end of the day? You know, like you can't please everyone. Even if somebody tries to do that in the way that you're describing, it's still going to make somebody feel some way of thinking that someone's possibly being biased. You
Right.
know, based on like they think that here's my bias. You might not be able to do this, blah 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 blah, because whatever. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to. I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't think it's coming out the way that I want it.
No, I.
But like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. And
like
I
at the
agree.
end of the day, like if you worry about what other people are going to think, then nobody's going to post anything. You know, everyone's going to be too afraid to even vocalize like their opinions or their perspectives or whatever. And so who cares? I don't know. I'm like, social media is like, that's what makes it so like wildly strange and interesting, problematic, but also inspiring, because it's all of that. It's all the above, everything. You know, it's going to piss people off. It's going to inspire people. It's going to make people, like for me, like especially after 2020, and I remember like trying to find some inspiration myself, and it didn't come through a quote, but it came through like another artist talking about like, you know, find your magic. And I was like, oh, and it shook me to the core. It was just like a video, and I was going like, how did you get in my algorithms? You know, because it was not even like, it just felt so random. And now like, it's kind of put me on a path of refocusing what I want in my life again, which is interesting.
Mhm.
That it happened in social media of a doom stroll during a doom stroll. A doom stroll. Hey, scroll. And I do find like a lot of inspiration from other artists on social media oftentimes, and then there'll be some artists that I don't feel inspired by, and I'm just like, whatever. But I don't think that I would have been able to find that inspiration as quickly, or maybe I don't know. Just it seems like the right time, right moment, right doom scroll for something like that to like appear for me, you know.
Right.
But and if it didn't happen, if someone was so worried about posting it, then maybe I would have never received that message,
Right.
kind of thing. So it's like, I don't know. I know that what I'm said earlier, it's like, why do we do what we do? But then at the end of the day, I'm always like, but why do I care?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
I find myself asking that too. Like when I get bothered about something on social media, I feel like I am getting a lot better, but I would go out of my way to post my opinion if it
Bothered you?
bothered me enough,
Right.
or if it made me happy enough. Like if it made me feel like the extreme emotions from one way or to another, then I would go out of my way to express what I was feeling at that time. But now if it bothers me, I will take a second and I'm like, why should I even fucking care? It's not impacting me. Like
Right.
it's not not deliberately, but it's not directly affecting my life. So why should I have an opinion, for one? That's my question that I ask myself. And then if I do have an opinion and I decide to share it, is it going to be a positive thing? Is it going to be a negative thing? Is it going to be like something that I'm going to be teaching people? Or is it something that I'm just going to hear a lot of backlash for? And then I'm just going to go in a tit for tat with these fucking adults that are just worse than children, in my opinion. So the majority of the time after I come to that quick conclusion, I'm like, no, just delete it. You don't need to go.
Right.
You don't need to do any of that.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth? I will say this about social media too, though, how on something that I never thought of it being a good resource for, but also like to organize, like for activist gatherings, like for people to get gathered together to go protest, to talk about topics that are very important to like the world, to the United States, and then to the like globally, all the connections that you can make across the world, that you probably would have never been able to connect without social media. But like, 2020 was a shit show, and it's still a shit show.
We're still going back from that.
But a lot of what was happening, that was like a major source for people to get organized.
Right.
Without it, we would have been trapped in our houses, probably having a difficult time staying connected through our phones and having conversations on our phones. But like social media kind of, dare I say, even though it's a wild west setting, it was also a space of comfort, to be able to see what other people were doing and seeing how the world was responding to COVID, but then also how after the murders of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, how people got organized, got to the streets protesting and all that stuff. So like there are some positive things that come from social media. But what about the toxic stuff?
2020 is when social media changed, like my perception of social media changed. And then for the worse, actually. And
I could see that.
Worse. There we go. I didn't realize how evil people could be until 2020 happened. And then like George Floyd and things like that. Kind of weird, but the Saw movies, the reason why they really scare me is because outside the obvious, but I feel that really changed the horror game, where the majority of the time, all these horror films, like people were rooting for like the heroes, like take these motherfuckers down. You know what I mean? But now you have Saw, where this mass murder is killing bad people, and people are justifying the death of that victim per se. And you see that happening in today's society. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can really see that happening in society. And I saw that happening with like the death of George Floyd, where people like fucker deserve to die. And I was like, oh my gosh.
For like nothing.
But just the fact that people justified the death.
Yeah.
And like, what? I don't know. Like I just saw a different side of people.
Oh yeah.
And just
Claws came out.
Yeah.
Real sides came out.
And like with COVID and people are like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm like, I don't care if the mask isn't the problem. Like I'll wear a mask. I don't care. But we're talking about lives. Like we don't know what we're dealing with. So why not just mask up so you can save people's lives?
Right.
Like what is the debate? Why?
Well, I mean, I agree with y'all, but I think the thing is people don't want their
Freedom taken away.
yes, thank you.
Which I'm like, what does that even mean?
We're talking about lives.
Yeah, right. I 100% agree with you.
Like no one's taking away your freedom. Like we're just like do what you need to for like the better good while we're trying to like figure this shit out. Like, yeah,
Right.
looking back, hindsight, whatever. But just the fact that people are just so, I don't know, people are just really, really disgusting. And then
Most people are selfish, you know?
yeah, but I didn't see that. I didn't see that ever on social media until
Really?
then. No, I just look at my nerd shit.
Ugh.
And I stay very like secluded in my own little world. You know what I mean? Like that's all I share. And
I mean-
Attack on Titan shit, right? But yeah. And I feel ever since then, that's where like, I don't know, like protect the children, protect, our elderly, protect our community, and protect your loved ones. But people are just gross and ugly. And I blame social media for fueling it because bad people just making more connections and just fueling their rage and fueling the hate. And it was just a disgusting sight to see.
Do you guys ever wonder, like, what's next after social media? Do you ever wonder that?
All the time. That's why I'm like, it's either going to
Virtual reality.
go, yeah. It's either going to go away or it's going to keep progressing.
Right.
So,
I feel they're merging social media with gaming to create your virtual reality, which is great and it's fun. But even with social or virtual reality, it is evolving into like a community, which is cool. Like you can do a lot of cool things in virtual reality to like expand your education, expand your career skill set, things like that. And that's fucking killer. But I also think it is very, very scary because you are putting people in a virtual world where they can prey upon other people and you're not protected at all. And it's very scary.
yo, have we not learned yet? Have we not seen the movies, The Matrix? I don't know. This is me. I'm just like, whatever. People are going to do what they're going to do. People, right? But to me, it's like I don't know. There's an intrigue, but also I do see like the dangers of it. Like we already disassociate so much from the world, we have our social media with us all the time, like our phones, on top of like our computers, on top of tablets, on top of iPads,
Our watches.
Augmented
watches,
realities now.
Now it's like virtual reality. Like we can literally leave our own space to go mentally go to another place to continue our dissociation from what's happening.
But then
in the
there's
world.
another step. It's augmented reality where like Apple's coming out with that stuff where you put on glasses and it's literally reality and virtual into one.
Mm-mm.
See,
No, thank you.
See, now
This is too much.
I think the idea kind of sounds cool, but really at the end of the day, I'm thinking about like when say we're playing like Among Us or whatnot on virtual reality, like I can only wear that thing on my head for so long before I'm like, okay, like I can't imagine myself watching a movie with this big thing on my head.
Yeah, but then that's just the first generation.
Right.
of
I know
virtual
I'm sure
reality.
It's gonna be different, as we go on.
Mhm.
But I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are super excited for that, but I'm like, I don't really have an opinion really on it, I guess. But
Like I see like Apple is coming out with I've said it, like the augmented reality and like the headphones and stuff like that. And I think that would be great for like your son because, you know, he's autistic and stuff like that. And so it helps those types of people. But then, or people with those needs and those challenges. But then it's like, where do you draw the line? Like, are you going to keep them in this thing and that they'll become dependent upon this thing and they don't know how to interact with reality? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And then there's just like, I don't know. I'm more about the protection. And I see like when we play Among Us, I fuck with these kids. Not like in a bad way, but I also do fuck with these kids in a funny way. But
Are you going to specify? This world is dangerous already. The people on the social media outlets are going to be like, what you mean by that?
in Among Us, right? Because you have these children that aren't necessarily being monitored by their parents. They'll put their like in their screen name, they'll put some personal information in there, like their birthday, and those fuckers that troll, right? I'm like, hey, is your birthday? Insert this date. I think there was this one asshole, and then he put at the end, it was 8/13 or something like that. And I was like, is your birthday August 13th? And he's like, wait, who are you? What? I'm like, that's right, motherfucker. Stay the fuck away. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, you're lucky. You're lucky God made me a good person. But like, that's just the point. Like, you know what I mean? What if I was someone sick and you just gave me a part of your information?
Right.
You know what I mean? And parents don't know this shit.
Well, they don't because they tell
They
them,
do now.
they give them the tablets or their electronics and like, go away, you know, go do your thing while I do my thing, more or less, you know, and that's when a lot of the bad stuff happens. You know what I mean? And that's why I trust my kids to a certain extent with their tablets, but I also have a ton of restrictions on there. Like, they only can play with their tablets a certain amount of time a day. They have to, you know, they have to do educational things before they can get on their tablets, that sort of thing. And, you know, like, they started, Isaiah was wanting to get into Roblox. And so I didn't know anything about it really at first. So I let him start playing it. And then I noticed that there's all these other people. I was like, nope, we deleting this. So he plays Minecraft right now, but he plays it on I think it's survival mode, where he only can play it like with himself or with anybody he invites. Or like, not anybody he invites, but like he can play with his sister, you know? So I'm like, I'm okay with that. But yeah, like, and he has friends that are like, let's play Roblox. I'm like, nope, I'm just like, they're already exposed to so much already. Like, let them be kids, you know, like, just for example, I'm part of so Isaiah doesn't have like a cell phone, and neither does Olivia. And I don't intend on getting them one until they're probably teenagers at this point, because I don't think they need it, you know? I don't know. Who knows what will happen? I won't never say never, but as of right now, I don't think that they're old enough for that. But, you know, so they give, you know, my number or their dad's number to their friends. And so we're like in these like little group chats with these little kids, and they're already like saying like the F word and, you know, like 69. And I'm just like, and trust me, I stopped that right away. I'm like, what? Like, there was one kid who said it was FUK. And I was like, and I basically said, hey, if this language is going to be present in these conversations, my son's not going to be part of it. And the kid deleted it, and I could see that he deleted it. And he was like, but I only put a K. I'm like, it's the same thing, boo-boos.
Child, we were children once too.
For real. And then, oh my gosh, it was this whole thing. And then he said to Isaiah, it's so funny. It was almost like he thought that it's almost like he forgot that I was the owner of the number. Cause he was like, Isaiah, tell your mom she can't tell me what to do. Oh, I was like, bitch. I mean, I didn't say that to him, but I, you know, I was very, very polite and stuff, but I just said, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I more or less just said, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just letting you know my son is my responsibility. And if this type of conversation is going to continue in this group chat, my son will not be part of it. So
It's like that. Have you guys seen that video? It's a stand-up comedian or whatever, and he's like, he's a black comedian, and he's like, did you guys ever have those white friends when you were growing up? And they're like, your mom talks to you like that? Your mom can't invade your space, man. Like, what? It's your privacy. What is your mom doing? Like, go tell her to respect you. And then you're like, Mom, please respect. I was like, I'll show you respect.
Or it's hey, you there? Crickets.
oh yep.
Funeral service will be like you're dead. my
Memory
child.
of step I take.
For real though.
R.I.P.
Don't be playing.
Nah.
But you know what? I did hear some just kind of side note, but and this is maybe easier for me to say / speaking on my ass because I don't have kids. But it was something from Mr. Rogers. And he said this to Oprah. And Oprah, I mean, I know Oprah's under fire a lot nowadays. So this is kind of unrelated, but Oprah was like, so, like, what's something that you have to say to, like, parents? What's some advice? And he was like, I think when we are adults, we forget what it's like to be a kid. And we forget that kids are very, very innocent and they really have, like, no negative intent. And they're just learning machines. And they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're saying. And so put yourselves in their shoes when you engage, respond, parent, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, oh yeah, that's fair. I mean, even but
No, for sure.
But also, like, I don't have any I don't have any kids. Like,
Well, I think, just kind of to put into perspective, kind of like the way that I responded to this kid, I could have been like, I could have been a brat and been like, listen, like, where's your mom? Or, I mean, not that that's bad. I could have been like, bitch, listen, like my son, but I chose to be respectful, but also like that's my son. I'm protecting him from that crazy stuff right now. I want him to be a kid as long as possible. Like these kids know how to screen share and all this stuff. And I'm like, wow. And part of me feels a little bit guilty sometimes because I'm like, am I holding my kids back for stuff? I'm like, no, like they're actually getting more experiences instead of just being on tablets and things like that. But also like the tablets is not the end all be all, go play outside, go, let's go to a trampoline park and, that sort of thing.
but do you think, I'm not arguing at all. I'm not like combating, but just for like playing devil's advocate, just for argument's sake, I guess. Conversation, there we go. Do you not feel that those things are a part of the kid experience?
What stuff?
Like conversations like that, like the fuck with the K and stuff like that.
Oh,
Because they're talking about that at school. Like I remember
right.
I didn't even engage in that stuff until maybe I was like 5, 6.
She says 5, 6.
I'm thinking like 18.
I know, I was thinking
16, 15,
Like I
but
remember
5 to 6.
Showgirls, the first pair of titties I saw, and I didn't go back.
Dang.
And the code 0202, man, pulled that shit out when the parents went to sleep. I dragged William into that shit too.
Are you serious?
Fuck yeah, I did. And Latoya,
Dang.
you're looking at me like that. There was some experiences with you too. I'm sure you remember, or maybe you're just blocking it out. But anyway,
Oh, I remember, but like, it's not something I'm like,
But I was just a kid.
Right.
I didn't know better. Like, and for me, if I'm taught to not, I'm going to, because I was never taught really healthy boundaries. I was taught just no.
right.
No.
Right.
And so when I found Dad's Playboys, I was like, fuck yeah, you're going to ground me? That's fine. I got a good amount of material that will cover my ass for quite a while. You know what I mean?
See, and I totally just lost what I was going to say.
Basically, 0202 was the code to watch, to basically uncensor
To watch adult
adult
shows.
content.
Mm-hmm. It was either 0202 or 2020.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. You remember that stuff, like
Parents do
but
better codes.
for real.
But yeah, do you not think that's a part of
yes.
the child experience?
Yes, in a way. Like, but I also, but my kids' experience is very much different than mine because a lot of our childhood was very much like, do as I say, you know, like, and you don't have any sort of say in or an opinion. You know, I have those conversations with my kids. You know, I don't necessarily say, no, you can't do this. Like, and I'll tell them, you know, honey, I don't think that's a good idea for you to do this. And this is why. That sort of thing, you know. And I know that the kids are going to do what they're going to do sometimes, and they're going to push the boundaries. That's what kids do. Yeah. But I do think, you know, I try to keep it as open as possible. Like Isaiah, I overheard him, like, this was a couple years ago. I think this was his first year of actual school. He was in kindergarten, and it was like the last day of school, and he had his yearbook, and he says to his sister, he's like, Olivia, I know what the F word is. And I totally heard him. My ears puckered up real quick, and I was like, what's the F word? And he goes, fuck. And I was like, and I wasn't like mad at him. I was like, where did you hear that from?
Plot twist. He inserts a clip of him when he was younger saying truck. But continue. He's like, it's this. Fuck.
Yeah, he used to say, when he would say fire truck, he'd say fire fuck. It was the cutest thing. But yeah, he was so little. But no, but he routed out his friend and everything. But he knows he's not supposed to say that stuff. You know, he knows it's not appropriate. And he's like, well, mommy, do you say stuff like that? I'm like, I said, I don't like to say that stuff around you because it's, you know, it's not for children. I said, but maybe, when you're an adult, maybe, you know, that's something that, you know, you'll have the prerogative to be able to say those types of things. But I just, as your mom right now, and as you being a kid, like, I would just rather you not, because I just, you know, and I always tell them why, you know, and like, it's not just a whole no, and that's it. End of story. Like, I don't like that. I don't, and because my kids are very, very, I know they're very curious. All kids are, but my kids ask questions. Well, why, mommy? You know, okay, I'm going to tell you why. You know, but it was cute though when that kid did say what he said about me. He's like, Isaiah, tell your mom that she's not the boss of me, or tell her she can't tell me what to do. Isaiah got so mad. He's like, mommy, I want to write him and tell him you can't talk to my mommy like that. And I was like, oh, it was so sweet. And I was like, honey, it's okay. And then I almost thought about letting him say something, but then I was like, do I really want this to happen right now? But then it looks like one of the parents got a hold of the messages and made him apologize. So the kid apologized. And so I was, you know, I don't think I
take that kid.
For real though. But these kids,
dang.
It's crazy.
Don't let me catch you on Among Us, B Hotch.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, like, I know these kids are playing Among Us and all that stuff. They're playing, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's and all these things. And I just don't feel comfortable with them playing that stuff yet, you know, because there's just too much access to them as a child. Because a lot of it's just you know, online gaming, you know, and I don't feel comfortable with them doing any of that yet, you know, because they're so innocent, and they'll probably give out our address, you know, thinking that, you know, someone's, they're just being nice to me. No, I just rather just keep that away from them so that they know. And like I said, I always try to give a why. And I think there was a situation, I can't remember, but there have been situations where there could have been like some scary stuff happening, and I'll use those examples of stuff when those things happen. Say, this is exactly when mommy tells you, you know, she needs you to do this because she's trying to protect you, because not everybody makes good choices. You know, and I don't like to call, I'm not perfect at it, but I always tell my kids, I never wanted them to feel like, you know, there was good people or bad people. Because I think essentially at the end of the day, everybody at the end of the day, at one point, tried to be good, you know? But I think we're people that make choices. We're people that make good choices or people that make bad choices. So, because there's been several times when Isaiah said, mommy, I'm a bad boy. I'm like, no, honey, no, you're a wonderful person. You just made a bad choice, and that's okay. You made a mistake. You know? I don't know. Because I felt like that was I felt bad growing up. I felt bad. You know, I don't like tying that to me. Like, you're bad.
Yeah.
And so it kind of removes it a little bit. Like, no, you're not a bad person, honey. Like, you're a great person. You just made a bad choice.
I agree.
I kind of went off on a tangent there.
It's okay. Because, sometimes there's good social medias and sometimes there's bad ones. But does it mean that social media is purely bad?
I mean, I think we all can agree that social media is a tool. And
Oh, for sure. Now.
yeah. And I mean, I think social media has always been a tool. Was I mature enough to handle the tool though? Like that's kind of the questions there. But it could be a tool used for good, it could be a tool used for bad, it can be a tool used for education thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
social media is what you use it for, and it's really the intent of the user.
Right.
Right.
I
But
mean,
just don't be fucking ignorant though with it.
what's the quote with power? Oh, what is the quote?
Are you talking about Spider-Man?
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Thank you. There you go. Because that is true. Like, it's interesting. Like, I used to love Instagram a lot because I love taking pictures. And then that was like the beginning of the putting a filter on something. And I was like, ooh, made me feel like I was like a photographer.
Right. Mhm.
So like I was like one of the earliest users before like it was what
it
it
is
transformed
now,
into
Reels.
becoming and
Sure, millions
Instagram.
probably. I don't think that.
But like
Yeah.
how that has transformed just everything. Even like as being a creative artist, a lot of the like casting world looks at your Instagram to see how many followers you have.
Right. To see how relevant you are.
Yeah, and that will sometimes determine if you get a role or not. And movies or plays or
Yep.
whatever, or getting even signed on for like a music deal or whatever. Like
What's your following?
it's such a different social media has changed the ball game of what we even perceive as like how to even figure out new artists across the board. So like a lot of some people who are musicians and actors and stuff first got their first exposure from Instagram because they had high followers.
Yep.
And now they're like movie stars,
Right.
music stars. It's wild to me.
Maybe that's why we have so much shitty talent out there.
Oh, I mean,
That's what she said, folks.
But
Let's
like-
be real, like that can be manipulated. And
oh, for sure.
once when you remove the manipulation, like what are you really looking at? So that's
Right.
why people should versus what is happening is like two different things. But like there really needs to be more engagement or more conversation around that, the things that can be manipulated.
Mhm.
And all of that can.
But like, what does it matter if they finally get to where they're going? I've had
They're eventually not gonna-
conversations like years ago about this, like people losing out on Broadway shows because they didn't have someone had more
10,000
followers than this other
Mhm.
person. And I was like, what? But and like I'm talking about like some of the most talented people I at that time have worked with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there's no time you're going to be on Broadway. They're like, well, actually, I was in a final round before, seeing if they got the gig or not. And that's exactly what happened. They checked their Instagram to see how many followers they had. And they're like, sorry, this person had 5,000 more than you. So
That kind of reminds me.
It's
Remember
wild.
when the Prom musical became, when they made that into a film and they didn't use the original Broadway cast for that?
yeah.
Yeah, it's things like that.
But anyway, it's just like, the Prom, and they replaced everyone with like famous people.
Famous
so they,
actors.
yeah. But like, it's just interesting how social media has just transformed.
Yeah.
Even like Twitter, like Twitter followers was like a big thing when Twitter came around. And now we have TikTok, which
You just got yours like a couple months ago.
I did because I'm a rebellious person. And like when everyone does it, I just go, why? We already talked about this.
Yes. But
I was just
also,
like,
you don't want to be left behind.
Yo, I'll catch up. Like, you might think I'm like, sees a way, but somehow I always catch up. So I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes me a long time to finally like lean into something sometimes. Cause I'm like, I already have to manage Facebook and Instagram. That's a lot. And then people are like, you don't have a Twitter? I was like, why though?
Oh, I had one and I deleted that.
Oh, it's just so much. And then TikTok and then Thread now. And then I'm just like,
And Be Real. That's a thing.
I know, be real. I was like, yeah, can we be real about all this nonsense? Like do we need another thing like that? And
Right.
I think there's like a newer one where it's like collages. We can make like a collage and people have been posting that on like on Instagram and like stuff. Yeah.
Like Pinterest.
Kind of like a Pinterest, but like, yeah, it's wild. You know how people do like, this is the end of my August month of like recap. Now people are doing that with like putting events and like cute little things, crafty stuff. And I'm like, I can't. Are you on this now? No.
Well, I'm like, how do y'all find all this time?
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
I
if y'all, because I got a full-time
Sacrifices.
job. And
sacrifice for what?
you know, I got 2 kids. I mean, and I know
I
there's
got
a lot
this
of people.
nap that I gotta get to.
Right?
I want to lay down and watch my K drama.
I know there's people out there that really, really work hard for that. So, like, honestly, I'm
It's
not
true.
knocking them because there's a lot of people that worked hard to get to where they're at,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
It does take skills to
Mhm.
market whatever you want to, like your content
Right.
is wild how people can do that so well.
So it's definitely, you know, admirable in a way, like, because they're doing the damn thing. But also, it's like, what were you? I know, well, because a lot of people that I follow too, they're like, this wasn't like this for a while, and which, but I would like to see more of that side of things, not just the success.
Yeah.
You know,
Likewise.
because I think with social media, you know, comes these high expectations that are just completely unrealistic. And we're thinking, you know, like we're starting a page and like, oh my gosh, we have the best intentions. And like, yeah, I'm going to gain all these followers. And then like 5 years later, you're like, I still only have 200.
Mm-hmm.
And you like equate that with some sort of value, you know, negative value.
Mm-hmm.
And really it's like, we're not seeing what they went through to get to where they are. They probably went through the same things, but they're not really talking about it that much.
Yeah. I think it's really rare actually to have like an overnight success.
Yeah. And
Like-
anymore.
Yeah. Like we have a friend who is a huge TikTok influencer. And it took like one big post that I don't think he was thinking was going to become this huge
It
thing.
usually is something like that.
And then it blew up. It was all over. Even stars were sharing it and everything. And all of a sudden people were following him.
Talking about
And
BJ?
then no,
Oh.
no, I'm talking about Austin Archer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he has been on the social medias like for a while,
Mhm.
you know, and he was doing content and stuff for a while, but then he did the one with like turtleneck and
Oh,
blazer
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, turtleneck and blazer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden he was all over the place. All
Yep.
over the place, and it hasn't gone down since. Like he has over 1 million followers.
Dang. Okay.
So even on Instagram now and TikTok, like he's like, and now I think that's how, like what his job is creating
Right.
content and also like helping other people like make jingles, because that's also part of his content.
right. That's
Making
cool.
like jingles off of like what some people like say or whatever. He's very like has his own political views that he'll like talk about and
right.
people follow.
Make
so
them in
like
songs and stuff sometimes.
yeah. So it's like it does take like some mad skill sets, you know, and it I don't think it was an overnight overnight success for him. Like he's an
Right.
artist as well. He's an actor. He's a singer. He's been creating art for a long time.
Right.
And now he's able to do other things because of that one video that finally made people go, who is that? And now he has people's attention.
Right.
So it's mad props, you know,
Mhm.
but it's just, I'm like, but then after that, you have to keep
You have to keep up with that.
with it. And I'm like, that probably, I only can imagine how exhausting that gets.
But
'cause-
also, I
Oof.
bet you with that, I mean, I could totally be wrong, but just from what I've seen from some of the bigger influencers, a lot of that comes with some nice money, and with nice money, you can hire a team, you know, to run your social media pages, you know, and do things like, you know, they call it batching, you know, batching your content where you're literally only working maybe a couple hours a day, or, you know, say you do all of your videos in one day, change all your outfits and stuff, and then you
Oh,
know,
wow.
you edit a lot of your stuff like during the week, like maybe 1 hour a day, or I don't know. Like I've seen a lot of people that are doing that, but I think a lot of those big influencers, it comes with a lot of money that they're getting too, and they're able to use that money to hire people out because. Yeah, like, I mean, just me running my own little page for me and my kids, like I get burnt out easy on that stuff because I want to stay consistent and, you know, I do my best to, but also I'm like, I'm living, you know, single mom life and working a full-time job, you know, but you know.
So basically what I'm hearing is that we need to get some sponsorships. Who wants to sponsor Sisters Unscripted?
Sisters Unscripted.
So then we can hire a team. And then life will be so much easier.
Oh, we definitely have our challenges, but it would, hey, some nice monies. Can I have some coinages, please?
Can I have some monies?
Some monies.
Can I have some monies, please? Shamawa.
Is that in Mandarin money?
No.
Oh.
I was her saying what?
I was Sherelle going, what?
Oh, okay. Well, no, that was a really good topic. I mean, we probably could talk about this for hours. So, I mean, definitely some other things we could talk about in the future. But what would you sum up our conversation today as?
Bring MySpace.
Justin Timberlake, get your ass together. Bring MySpace back before you bring sexy back. What the fuck?
I'm bringing
And
MySpace back.
Or
Yeah.
if you're doing
better
NSYNC to
log
get
in.
money to revamp MySpace, I support it, but do it sooner than later. That's first lesson. Second lesson is social media is a tool. Make sure you are using it for the appropriate reasons, and please do not put any negativity out there, okay? But also be real. And it's okay to be vulnerable, but just don't be a fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? Number 2. Number 3, I'm gonna eat some cheesecake soon.
Oh, that sounds good.
And that was on Sherelle's Corn.
What?
No, girl, you stopped. We could have found it.
I'm sorry.
You guys do this all the time. Why do you guys always do this? You just have to dramify everything.
Hey, you dramify video games, okay? Let us have this.
Video games is video games.
But
If
this
it makes
is
sense.
also
Y'all theater
life's
everything.
a musical too.
And yeah, you musical theater shit all over everything. And you're like, do it
Musical
together.
theater shit.
I obviously knew you guys were going to say Shrell's Corner, but when the first time you said Shrell's Corn, it reminded me of that one time when I took a shit when I was younger.
All right.
My God.
So thank you so
There
much
was
for
some porn.
tuning in on this conversation.
Guys, look at this
If you
picture.
want to have any questions, anything that you
Y'all
want
have
us to
that.
talk about, you can send us an email at sistersunscripted@gmail.com.
Yes.
You can hit us up on our Instagram pages, Facebook, also TikTok. If you haven't followed us already, get into it.
Into it, YouTube as well.
Uh-huh.
This is Unscripted.
That's right. This is Latoya.
This is Candace.
And Sherelle with some wetty ass hands.
Oh my
Sweaty ass hands.
Wetty ass. Guess what?
Sweaty ass. It's hot in here.
Well,
Sisters,